So how can you get over the death of someone you love? We're going to talk about it on today's episode.
We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life.
What's up, lifers? Michael Johnson here with the Magic for Life show. I am excited that you're here because I would love to lend a hand. If you've recently lost someone in your life and experienced the death of somebody you love, then you're in the right place. You're in the right place to chat about it a little bit. And I wanted to get on today to talk with you a little bit about how you can deal with this, how you can handle the death of a loved one, somebody that was very special in your world, in your life, somebody you maybe spent a lot of time with, maybe somebody that just has a real special place in your heart, whether it's a spouse or whether it's a parent or a child or a family member. It's always a little bit difficult to deal with death, whether it's sudden or whether you knew it was coming. It's always a challenge, and I understand that. And so my condolences, first and foremost, to you. And now let's talk about how we can deal with it, how we can, quote unquote, get over it. First and foremost, you probably have some beliefs and concepts that you, or not concepts, but traditions that you do in your family, in your religion, in your set of beliefs that are either important to you or you have decided that you would like to move on from those traditions. Either way, it's important that you evaluate that and decide where it is that you're at right now. If you are in a place where you believe that the traditions that you've kept and the religious beliefs that you have are important for you to be able to come to grips with it and to deal with it, then you need to do those traditions. You need to do those things, because what's happened is you've got this belief system in your head and these traditions that you've run. And so if you don't run them, you're always going to have that space, that place in there where you haven't done what you know you believe. And that's a big deal. Now, if you're on the other side of the coin, and if you haven't done those traditions, and maybe you're in a place where you're starting to second guess or starting to think differently about those beliefs and traditions that you've grown up with, well, that's another story as well. You need to address that, and you have to come to grips with the idea that maybe, just maybe, those beliefs aren't going to suit you anymore. And that's up to you. I mean, obviously, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to say that you shouldn't practice your traditions or your belief systems that you have about death. And so really, whichever side of the coin you're on, you have to actually come to a place where you are clear what it is that you need. And that's a big deal, right? Because what you need is the first step in this process. You have to take care of what you need. Now, you might say, well, I have to think about them. Well, don't worry, they have passed on, and regardless of your belief systems, they are no longer here. And I'm not saying that to be mean or to be aggressive, but what I am saying is that they have now moved on. And whatever your belief is about where they are at, what has happened to them, no matter what your tradition is about it, the fact of the matter is they're no longer here, and they will not be here anymore. And I know, and hopefully this is a little bit of tough love for you, and I know it may sound a little bit assertive, but the fact is that now it's about you. And so if you've listened to me for a while, you oftentimes hear me say you have to put the oxygen mask on first. You have to be able to take that oxygen mask and get some air. And that's a big deal. As you can recall, when you get on an airplane, they tell you if there is a case of emergency and the oxygen masks drop down, your first priority is to get your air first, to get your mask on first, then help children, the elderly, people that can't help themselves. But if you don't, it's been proven that there's this thing that happens to you when you're that high up in an airplane, that within minutes or seconds that you can actually die just like that. You lose brain function, you lose oxygen, and your life is in jeopardy. So I want to take that and maybe escalate this a little bit to the perspective that your life right now is in jeopardy. You see, the one thing that is absolutely true is that this person that you loved cannot come back. They're not here anymore. There is no opportunity for that. We have not discovered that technology or that ability yet as humans. And so because of that, rather than taking it as me being aggressive or assertive or saying something that's offensive, I want you to take on this idea and this approach that you now have a responsibility to make sure they live on. Well, in what way? Well, in the way of their memories. You have learned things from them through the past. You have experienced things from them in your time together and your time on this planet with them, however long or however short, because sometimes you have a shorter amount of time with somebody before they pass away, or a longer amount of time. And in either case, you have had experiences. And this is the gold or the diamonds in life. The experiences, the feelings, and the emotions that you are able to experience with somebody and share with somebody else. These are the special things that exist in our world, in our life. We are here to experience. That's it. That's the end of the story. We're here to experience. And how do we experience? Well, we use our emotional operating system. And our emotional operating system is the system that is helping us to experience something. Well, what is it that we need to experience? We need to experience the pain of loss. We need to experience the joy of success. We need to experience the bliss of love, right? We need to experience love. We also need to experience hate and anger. All of the emotions are here for us to experience and to be able to take full advantage of what has been made available for us on this earth and in this planet, right? Because there's so much available for us. And one of the things that's available is to experience another human's experience, right? And so you share that with a spouse, with a loved one, with a family member, with a child. You share these experiences with other people. And these things that we've shared are the things that are supposed to go into our mind, into our soul, and they help to shape us. They aren't us. The experiences aren't us. They are just experiences. They're observations of what you experienced. And so what's the point? The point is that you have to think of the great times. And I say have to, and not you should, but you have to think of the great times, the moments that you'll pass on to your children, the stories that you'll tell to your friends, the funny times and the sad times, the experience that you went through with them at each step of the way. Now, there are some things that you can do, and for each it's different. Each one of you it's different. So I'm talking in such a wide range and such a birth of space. But for each of us it's different. If you're a writer, you may need to write about it. If you're a photographer, you may need to take pictures about it. If you're an artist, you may need to draw about it. And that's just a thing. It's a thing, whatever it is. If you're a dancer, you may need to choreograph something about your experience. If you're a horseback rider, you may need to go and ride and go on a long ride and just be one with nature and the experience that is. In any case, all of these things that we've mentioned, all of these creations that we've mentioned are all about creating. Now that's an interesting paradox, isn't it? We've lost someone we love. They have now decided that it's time to move on, and maybe they didn't decide. Maybe it was decided for them. Whatever the case may be. And in any case, our way of dealing with it, our way of improving the way we live is to start to create. And when you start to create, the finer things in life come about. And when you create with them in mind. You create with all of your experiences in mind. And so as you are creating, you are doing their memory justice. And it doesn't have to be a creation just about them. In some cases, one of the best ways to deal with and get over is to allow that memory to rest just a bit. You won't forget about them. You won't lose them. If you're worried about that, write stuff down, have a video, talk about a memory, talk about an experience. You know, you just like I'm doing here, holding up my phone and I'm talking with you guys, I'm recording it. This will be recorded forever. My posterity can look at this for years to come. You can look at this for years to come. But you can do the same. You can get on and you can say, you know what, I just thought of this memory of the person I loved. And so I'm going to put it on camera. Why? Because I am concerned I'm going to forget. And in many instances, this is a thing, right? People are concerned and sad because they're saying, I'm going to miss them. Well, I understand that. You're going to miss creating new experiences with them. We can both understand that. But here's the thing. You don't have to miss them if you can put their stories down, if you can write them down, if you can record them, if you can just use an audio recording, if you don't like being on video, whatever the case may be. But you can get their stories down. They'll pass on to your posterity. And the fact of the matter is their memory and their experiences can live on for as long as you create the medium for them to live on. And that's amazing. Now, here's the thing. As you do this, it gets easier and easier. As you start to realize I won't forget because I've written that down, you could go back anytime you want. You can be sad about this experience. You could be happy about the experience. You could be happy for them. Maybe they're out of pain and suffering. You could be happy for them to not have to go through whatever challenge they were going through. You could be happy for the fact that you're still here. And that might sound selfish, but the fact of the matter is we are here to experience. We are here to enjoy life. And being able to experience every minute of your existence is massively important. You can do that. You don't have to be sad about their passing. That's not a requirement. There is no requirement that said you must be sad. In fact, if you're not sad, that doesn't mean you miss them any less. If you're not sad, it doesn't mean that you are somehow dishonoring their memory. In fact, whatever you believe might indicate to you what their belief is afterwards. Now, again, I could share with you my beliefs, but my beliefs about what happens afterwards are really of no consequence. It's what you believe. It's what your experience has taught you. And the most important thing is that you now get back on the horse, right? There's an old adage that when a horse bucks you off, the best thing you can do is get right back on the horse. And so when you hear that saying, get back on the horse, right? So sometimes life is going to throw some interesting things at you. But here's the thing. We all know we're going to die. We all know that our loved ones are going to die. Sooner or later, we are all going to die. And this experience that we're having is all going to go away. So our best bet is to experience it, put the memories down. We have such great tools these days and technology that can record the things that we are experiencing, so that you don't have to worry about forgetting them. You can record them as they happen. You can record them after they happen. You could record them after someone has passed away, and it would make a massive difference and a massive change in your world and in your life. And so I want you to really take a step back and say, hey, you know, what can I do for me? Don't worry. It's okay to be selfish a little bit. What can I do for me so that I can be in the best state possible to remember them? Maybe get their stories down, maybe get the things that they believed in down, maybe teach your kids a little bit. Maybe you implement some of those things like, hey, weekly I'm going to tell a story about this person that has passed away for a little while. Or maybe you do it all at once and you put them all down. And oftentimes, if you'll just allow yourself to be sad 100%, full out, then you'll burn that energy out just a little bit, and now you can come back. But it's important that you come back and you start to realize that your experience is the most important. Your ability to live this life is the most important, because you too are dying. The clock is ticking right now as we speak. And because of that, you've got to live in the best possible way you can, in the most positive way you possibly can. And you've got to represent the people that have come through your life and helped contribute to your experiences in the best possible way, whether they're here, whether they're not here. And you know this is possible. People in your life have passed away, and they weren't that close to you. You didn't have that many experiences with them. And because of that, you were able to move right along and not think twice about it, right? But somebody that has had experience with you and has had interaction with you, probably this loved one we're talking about, well, they're not here, and I apologize for that, and I'm sorry. And again, I'm not being offensive, but they're not here, and you are. You're here, so your job is to represent their memory in the way that you see fit. I can't tell you how to do that, but some great ideas, like I said, write it down, create a painting, do a video, create an audio, and all of those things you can do on your phone. If you have a smartphone, you can do all of those things on a phone. How cool is that? So start doing that today and practice getting back to joy and happiness and love. Be grateful as much as you possibly can. When you feel yourself having a little bit of a sadness coming on for the person that you lost, be grateful. Instead of being sad, be grateful. Think about what they contributed to your life. Think about what they did for you. And when you can do that, the feelings will change. Love will fill your heart, and you'll be able to move forward in the most positive way. So I wish that upon you. Again, I assume you're watching this because maybe you've had somebody pass away recently, and my hope to you and for you is that you can get on your feet again, and you can find a way to find the joy in life, because the joy in life is still there. You are dying, and there is something really positive about that. You are dying, and so this is your moment. This is your moment to live. This is your moment to experience life at its fullest, and it's time for you to go do that. So make a plan. Decide what you're going to do. Decide how you're going to honor their memory. Is it through a journal that you're going to write about them when you think about memories? Is it through a video log? Is it through audio log? What is it through? And really hone into that. Have that available when you can, and be able to leave your memories there so that you can experience them anytime you'd like. All right, put the oxygen mask on. I wish you the best. Thank you for joining me today. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life.